Hi there, greetings and salutations. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be going over the newly released update that is coming for Season 2 in Vanguard and Warzone, set to deploy on Valentine's Day, February the 14th. So as always, if you find today's content helpful or feel like you learned something new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you want to find your way back to the channel, make sure you have notifications turned on and come hang out with us live over on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hopping right into it, first thing that I noticed coming into Warzone is going to be two new map locations, Chemical Factory and Research Labs. Looks like they're dropping in Caldera, and then mid-season we're going to be getting Rebirth Reinforced. So I'm not sure exactly what that is, but that's definitely coming. Looks like it'll be mid-season or in season, so a little bit later than the initial launch for the update. Some new modes coming in as well, Caldera Crash and Rebirth Island Iron Trials. Now that's going to be interesting because the player count's already low when you're looking at Rebirth, and now we're going to be adding some extra health and things like that. It's definitely going to be a mess, I think, but who knows, it could be good. Looking at new vehicles coming in, we're going to have the bomber planes, which I think honestly planes are already OP in the game, and supposedly this thing will be able to drop a lot of bombs down that'll even destroy like buy stations and other things like that. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see. If I had to guess, I'd say this is probably going to be in the Vanguard mode only. It could possibly be in the regular battle royale. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe they'll tell us in the notes as we get to them. But I assume if you don't play the Vanguard royale mode, you may not have nothing to worry about, but we'll see as we get there. Looking at a search and deploy event, looks like we're going to have redeploy balloons coming. I don't know if you've played like a PUBG or an Apex type thing, right? Like you can call in this deploy balloon. Essentially it's supposed to hook to you and take you somewhere else in the map or somewhere else in the game. So it's definitely going to be interesting. I may be wrong on that, and if I am, we'll get to it when we get to the notes because I'm reading this live with you. It looks like we're also going to have an armored transport mode. It's like a Nebula 5 ammo is coming. That's definitely different, right? And it says and kill streak. So I'm kind of curious about that and what that may entail. From what I've heard, it's gonna be where if you shoot somebody with this Nebula ammo and you down them, they're gonna kind of let a little bit of gas off, right? Almost like the storm closing in and things like that. And if their teammates are close by or trying to revive them, it's gonna affect them just like that they're in the storm. So definitely gonna be something different there, right? Then of course you got a lot of stuff coming into multiplayer. Looks like a bunch of content finally being updated for zombies. I know a lot of zombie fans will be happy with that. Looks like we're getting 3 new weapons coming in, 2 new perks coming in, 3 new operators coming in, and 3 new bundles right at the start of the season. So definitely going to be interesting and something fun to see. It looks like they've got a lot of content ready for Season 2. Let's just hope that a lot of fixes also come with this update and so on and so forth. So reading right here, it says these updates will include various fixes. Well, what do you know? There you go. That's the one thing we was just talking about. It says quality of life updates and other features that all studios worked on in the lead up to Season 2. Such improvements will be similar to those leading up to this new season. A recent Vanguard update addressed low visibility issues due to smoke and firing, along with nerfs and shotguns like double barrel when akimboed. And as promised, you can expect communications across all lead studios addressing exact changes coming with this update in the week ahead. So should be pretty good there. Looking at one of the new features, the Nebula 5 redeploy balloons and more. So Nebula 5 ammo and bombs create a new offensive tactic, while portable decontamination stations offer temporary refuge. So alternatively, take to the skies with redeploy balloons and bomber planes. So that's kind of interesting. I'm curious to see what the portable decontamination stations are going to be. And man, I really hate to say it, but it seems like they're pushing more for the balloons, and that's okay, because that may be good, right? You're in a jam, call your balloon, it'll take you somewhere else. But the bomber planes, man, I really don't like them pushing people to the planes, because as we all know, the planes are they're just OP. So the next thing that it says here is explore the chemical factory and underground chemical weapon research slabs and watch for armored transport. So that's going to be interesting, right? Fresh points of interest in Caldera are here to shake up those rotations. Axis soldiers patrol these new areas and are found around the island in vehicles. Defeat them for powerful rewards. So, man, I'm not sure what that means exactly, right? It looks like we're going to be getting some kind of maybe bot in the game or something like that may be patrolling certain areas around the map, and if you find them and kill them, you'll get some good rewards for doing that. So I'm curious to see what that's going to be as well. And then, of course, last but not least, we have the Caldera Clash at launch, Rebirth Reinforced coming mid-season. The massive team fight returns. Rank up those weapons, fight for Caldera outside of traditional modes. Meanwhile, there are rumors of a resurgence at Rebirth Island, and we're not talking about the game mode. So that's definitely something different. So looking at Nebula 5, ammo and bombs. Nebula 5 is meant for larger scale armaments. Yeah. Nebula 5 is meant for larger scale armaments, but can be used for small arms, ammunition, and bombs, both found in extremely small quantities around Caldera. Man, I am not sure what to think about this. The Nebula 5 ammo, right, is classified as a field upgrade in Warzone. Nebula 5 ammo is no stronger than regular bullets, but does have one major exception. When an operator is down by them, they will emit a poisonous gas cloud. And that goes back to what I was saying that I heard in the beginning. Anyone attempting to revive this operator or standing within a few feet of them will face similar complications to the circle collapse exposure, coughing, blurred vision, slight amount of damage over time, whether that be to a player's health or to their gas mask duration. So if you're trying to revive your player, it looks like you're going to be kind of using some of your gas mask there. It looks like we're going to be using a little more plates when this happens because it's just going to be chipping away at our health. Nebula 5 ammo takes up only a single clip of ammunition, but for some weapons, that may be enough to turn the tide of a team fight, especially within interior spaces. So that is definitely a different take, right? I know the one complaint we have is campers, final circle. You got people camping behind rocks and things like that. And man, if you can get one of their teammates down with this Nebula 5 ammo, it's going to emit that gas. It's going to push their team out of the building or cause them to use their health or their gas mask prematurely and can definitely turn the game. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I think it's going to be a neat feature coming to the game. Let's just hope it's not too excessive and too overpowered. And as you know, when they add things, sometimes that can happen. So I'm really curious just to see how it plays out. But so far, I kind of like what I hear. Nebula 5 bombs. It looks like one of the rarest items in Warzone is the Nebula 5 bomb, a locked briefcase full of deadly gas with an explosive charge. Once activated and set down in front of an operator, it will detonate after a fixed countdown and cannot be disarmed or destroyed. Its initial explosion deals a high amount of damage in a small radius before the gas spreads outwards, where it will hurt any operator without a gas mask. The gas lingers for 2 minutes before ultimately dispersing or feeding into the oncoming circle collapse. So that is 2 minutes. That is quite a bit. And I'm glad that they said that it's one of the rarest items, right? Because I'd hate to see that all over the map. But hey, look, man, if you play it strategically, it's definitely going to be one of those things that can win the game for you. So operators can potentially outrun this explosive aftermath just as they would the circle collapse. But in terms of an area denial tool, the Nebula 5 bomb is a powerful force if you can find it. So, hey, maybe you're pushing in next to last circle. You want to clear a building. You want to, you know what I mean? Well, I say next to last, say it lasts 2 minutes. So I don't know what you would do with it, but you can definitely go in and clear some areas with this thing and see if anybody's camping or hiding out in them and so on and so forth. So I think it's just going to be one of those strategically placed items, and you know, we'll have to see how that plays out as well. But definitely some new things, new features coming to the game. Next up is portable decontamination stations. Looks like despite its toxicity, Nebula 5 can also be temporarily dispersed. The portable decontamination station, new field equipment in Caldera, is a portable device that filtrates air for several seconds, protecting anyone inside from the circle collapses or the Nebula 5 gas. So this will be like a secondary gas mask, maybe, like in that aspect, right? Circles closing in on you. You're trying to do a gas mask play. You get to a building. Maybe you want to sit for a second before you push into final circle. You can hit this bad boy right here, and it's going to filtrate air for several seconds and protecting you from the circle collapse and the gas. So again, another very strategic item, and I think this will play a big part, especially in the end game of Warzone. We'll have to see how that plays out. Or if somebody's detonating the bomb, right? The Nebula 5 gas, man, you can use that. Or if you have to get your teammate up and you're in a tight situation. So these devices impact all operator TAC maps, allowing everyone to see where they are currently activated. Now, let's read that again. These devices impact all operator TAC maps, allowing everyone to see where they are currently activated. That just puts a twist on everything. And they can be destroyed by explosives or ballistics. With these caveats in mind, the portable decontamination station is still useful in surviving both old and new chemical threats and could likely lead to some new positioning strategies for battle royale modes. So I agree there. Armored transport trucks, Omnus Nebula 5 machines of destruction. Armored transport trucks are here in paradise as the Axis deployed multiple vehicles to carry Nebula 5 and its derivatives around Caldera. These unstoppable steel behemoths remotely roll on a set looping path, attacking those within its immediate vicinity with its 2 machine gun turrets. Operators also need to avoid the mines it drops behind it, as well as the aerial support it calls in should it drop to low health. Upon destruction, the armored transport trucks will drop incredibly valuable items, including, in the rarest cases, an intact Nebula 5 bomb. Definitely interesting. So I don't think it's something we'll be controlling. I think it's something we'll be running into, and it'll be shooting back at us. So we got to be watching for that for sure. New points of interest: the chemical factory and chemical weapon research labs. Aside from the massive stockpile in the apps, Nebula 5 is located mostly in the factories and laboratories around Caldera and is heavily guarded by Axis forces. So chemical factory, that's going to be one. Looks like, yeah, it's kind of the refinery between the mines and docks. Once produced phosphate has been repurposed and is now a newly constructed plant spewing out Nebula 5. So not a technical new location. They just revamped what's happening at that location. So underground chemical weapon research labs. According to current intel, the Axis operated 7 research laboratories around the island, hiding them underground and guarding them with the small squads of soldiers. Expert trackers may have already found these lab locations, but the average operator may find them thanks to several hand-drawn yellow circles on their TAC map. With only one way into these facilities, your squad better have an escape plan before the circle collapse or the enemy squads threatens your chances at walking away with the phenomenal loadout items, which may include gas mask and Nebula 5 ammo. So bunkers, right? The underground little bunkers, well, not technically the bunkers, but the lids that we see on the ground. You're going to have to get down in there, and that's where you're going to get some loot. So definitely going to be some hot areas on the map. Other new features: bomber planes and redeploy balloons. Nebula 5 isn't the only new feature coming in Season 2, as operators can take to the sky in a bomber plane or redeploy balloon. The bomber plane, the second aerial vehicle in Vanguard mode, so it is going to be strictly in Vanguard modes. It's a formidable air-to-ground striker capable of leveling infantry and vehicles. They can also destroy loadout drops, which can fundamentally change how operators approach these powerful sources of weapons. While this new aircraft can shatter anti-air guns and destroy ground level threats, it may meet its match when confronting the fighter plane, which continues to be available. Alternatively, drop into a stationary or truck mounted AA gun and bring down these airborne behemoths with a vim or vigor. So definitely looks like they're going to be flying slow, but you'll be able to counter them with a faster weapon and so on and so forth. Redeploy balloon, shown on the TAC map as a blimp icon. The redeploy balloon is a ticket back into the skies to reposition thousands of meters away from your set location. Operators can ascend to the top of the balloon via a zip line tethered to the balloon, then leap off the top and deploy their parachute to cover great distances. Planes or weaponry can destroy the redeploy balloon, and once the balloon is deflated, operators can spend a few $100 to reinflate it. So definitely can keep it moving. Looks like you can get across the map. If you need to jump, you can jump. You know, you got options there. It seems like it may be pretty good. And then the new modes, Caldera Clash kicks off season 2 with Rebirth Iron Trial Duo. Outside of traditional Battle Royale and Plunder modes, they'll feature 2 limited time experiences, the Caldera Clash, an evolution of Clash on Verdansk 84 and Warzone Rumble before it. Caldera Clash allows operators to drop in with their custom loadout, which can have any weapons, and a field upgrade. Each kill earns their team a point, the first team to reach a set number of points, or the team that has the most points. So, you know, that's basically like your team deathmatch version in the Battle Royale mode that we used to have, just the Clash, and it'll be Caldera Clash. Rebirth Iron Trials prove your presence later this season, so looks like it's going to have its own set of weaponry from Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and a numerous rule changes to increase time to kill. This mode is built for the most hardcore members of the community. However, players of all skill levels who want to change a pace within Warzone should participate. We're all familiar with Iron Trial, so definitely going to be a strange mode to do it on Rebirth Island. And then after that, looks like we got several things coming with multiplayer and more updates and things like that coming for the game with patch notes and everything else, man. So again, as always, if you found today's content helpful, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn them notifications on so you know every time we post new content. Thanks for hanging out and watching the video. As always, I'm Ketchxxii, and I'm going to catch you on the playground. I'm out of here.